Hello guys, it's SakusaFav, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I just hope everybody's safe. This series may or may not get canceled. May or may not. It's depending on how I'm feeling in my mood. Like, I don't know. I love this series, but it's getting really dark, and that's not my intention. So I'm just gonna try to turn it around, because it's supposed to be angsty and scary, but like the next episode is looking a little bit too scary, and I'm not liking it. But with that said, I hope you guys enjoy this, and remember, give me credit if you guys are going to make another series like this. I really don't appreciate that I'm seeing other content creators pop up with these, and I'm not saying no credit. I want credit for my work, because I actually work very hard creating this series. But with that said, I hope you guys enjoy this, and see you guys in the next episode. Bye.
Disclaimer, I do not own any of the Haikyuu characters or art said. This is not how I view the Haikyuu characters. This is just for pure entertainment. Warning, language might not be suitable for audience under the age of 13. That's all I have to say on to the video.
Some hoes better not fuck with my juice, cause he hot and he don't wanna lose me. I like the way that fucking boy abuse me. He got a big sticky nose. She got a big sticky nose.
Let's go. Told her baby, bring it over.
Bro, what is y'all beefing over, dog? It's 7 in the morning. How are y'all this mad? Her bro was sneak dissing. You know I don't play like that. Bro, I don't even know you. Shut up.
Put that grown woman on me, you scared.
Y'all can't handle this outside of school? Hell nah, but I need you to record this. I'm not doing it. Bro, I'm not recording that. This got nothing to do with it. Start recording or I'm gonna catch you next.
Don't be shy, show that print. Show me while I'm driving.
Bro, he's not even moving no more. I don't care. Keep
Pull up, let
recording.
me beat it. Shut up, let me eat it. Shut up. Tell me when to start, cause if you don't, I keep eating. Baby, I'm a scorpion, you I'm rich and I'm freaking. Fuck me till I'm tweaking. Pussy water, pussy leaking.
I now pronounce you husband and wife. Who said that? Who said that? Now pronounce you husband and wife.
Bitch on big Joe.
Now pronounce you husband and wife.
Let me.
I'm mad at you, let's fight. Put that away, you psycho!
Ass fat, down, baby thick. Nigga, slow down. You gon' shake your ass to tease a nigga. Girl, you low down. Lick your tongue, got in public, give me. It's gon' go down. Fuck on that Wooter. Got a stupid, want some more round. Down, short raw. She eat dick and balls. Keep a pussy ball. Got me tweaking in them draws. Got me tweaking in them draws. Got me weekly in them draws. Rich nigga dick. And I'm on my shit. Shawty love a nigga. She go crazy about the dick. Tell your nigga chill out. Don't do arguing in this bitch. Got my members with me. Bitch, we sparking in this bitch. Big dude.
Sharbu, hurry, we have to get there as quickly as possible. His foot presses down on the accelerator, increasing the speed of the car. Sharbu, equally alarmed, nods in agreement. I know, I'm going as fast as I can, he says, gripping the steering wheel tightly. His mind is racing with thoughts of what could be happening at USHIJIMA's apartment. Semi's heart pounds in his chest as they drive through the city streets, the minutes feeling like hours. He glances at the live stream on his phone, hoping to see some sign of USHIJIMA's condition, but all he can see is TENDOU's taunting face and USHIJIMA's bound body. TENDOU, moving with calculated precision, carefully traces the edge of the knife across USHIJIMA's cheek.
But baby, I'm grown, and my love is patient and kind of shit. This is where we could build through different types of shit.
The blade barely touches the skin, causing a thin trickle of blood to flow down his face.
You was really the realest, wouldn't be fighting it. I think your pride is just in the way.
blade barely touches the skin, causing a thin trickle of blood to flow down his face.
Everything changed. Once you got all that you wanted, nothing was ever the same.
It's a chilling sight, and the live stream viewers can only watch in horror as TENDOU tortures USHIJIMA. Period. Shardu and Semi finally arrive at USHIJIMA's apartment building. They park their cars haphazardly, not caring about where they leave them as adrenaline and worry fill their minds. They run up the stairs, taking 2 steps at a time, their breathing ragged from the sprint. Upon reaching the door to USHIJIMA's apartment, Shardu and Semi discovers it's locked. Semi grabs the handle, trying to turn it, but it doesn't give in. Frustration and panic rise within them, knowing they're so close yet unable to get in. Shardu, fueled by urgency and desperation, throws his entire weight against the door, repeatedly trying to break it down. The sound of his body slamming against the door echoes in the hallway, but the door remains stubbornly closed. TENDOU, distracted momentarily from his sadistic game, looks up from USHIJIMA as he hears the loud thudding noise. His eyes dart towards the door, and his expression changes momentarily from amusement to annoyance. He mutters under his breath, realizing that his fun might be interrupted. He glares at the door, silently cursing whoever was trying to break it down. Look TENDOU, please don't do this. I know it's hard, but please, I know how much you love USHIJIMA, and he was just being dumb. Please TENDOU. TENDOU's demeanor suddenly shifts as the knife clatters onto the floor, a look of realization and shock overtaking his face. The reality of what he just did sinks in, and he appears momentarily stunned. TENDOU collapses onto his knees, the gravity of the situation hitting him all at once. His expression contorts with a mix of horror and disbelief. He stares at USHIJIMA, his face pale and eyes wide open. USHIJIMA, despite his bound wrists and ankles, sees TENDOU's momentary disorientation and seizes the opportunity. He struggles against the ropes, his muscles straining with every effort, until suddenly, they loosen just enough for him to break free. With the tape off, USHIJIMA wastes no time in rushing over to TENDOU, wrapping his arms around the trembling man. TENDOU clings to him, seeking comfort and support in his embrace. As the reality of the situation sets in, TENDOU's body shakes, overcome by a mix of emotions. TENDOU's voice trembles as he speaks, his words choke with a mixture of fear and regret. I'm sorry. I don't know what got into me, USHIJIMA. I didn't mean to. I'm so sorry. He buries his face in USHIJIMA's shoulder, tears welling up in his eyes, guilt and shame washing over him. USHIJIMA holds TENDOU close, enveloping him in a tight embrace. He can feel the tremors coursing through TENDOU's body and the despair in his voice. USHIJIMA wants to find the right words to say, but all he can do in the moment is simply hold TENDOU, offering silent reassurance and comfort. Semi and Shardu forcefully break down the door and burst into the apartment, their eyes quickly scanning the scene in front of them. The sight that greets them is TENDOU, clinging desperately to USHIJIMA, his body shaking with tremors, his expression one of raw guilt and remorse. Semi and Shardu, seeing the state TENDOU and USHIJIMA are in, rush over to join in the embrace. They wrap their arms around both of them, creating a tight group hug. The weight of the situation hangs heavily, but the presence of their friends provides a small ray of comfort. In the background, the sound of sirens gets louder and closer, indicating that the police are nearing the location. The gravity of the situation weighs heavily on everyone's minds, as they are now facing the consequences of TENDOU's impulsive actions. USHIJIMA, still holding TENDOU in his arms, speaks up. His voice is steady, but there's a hint of weariness in it. You have to go. It's unclear who USHIJIMA is referring to, but his words carry a sense of urgency and finality. Semi and Shardu exchange glances, feeling the weight of the situation pressing down on them. They know what's at stake, and the knowledge that the police are nearing adds to their unease. USHIJIMA's voice cuts through the tense silence once more. His tone remains firm, but there's a hint of sadness in his eyes. You all have to get out of here. Semi and Shardu, understanding USHIJIMA's implicit instruction, reluctantly break away from the embrace. They exchange a brief glance, silently acknowledging the importance of their departure. Without another word, they nod and begin to make their way toward the door, leaving TENDOU and USHIJIMA behind. TENDOU and USHIJIMA remain in the apartment, their hearts heavy with the knowledge of what has transpired. They hear the sound of police outside the door, and soon enough, officers enter the premises. TENDOU's heart races as he braces himself for what's to come, the weight of his actions hanging heavily over him. USHIJIMA, being the rational and level-headed individual he is, calmly explains the situation to the police. He clarifies that he chooses not to pursue charges against TENDOU, recognizing that the incident was the result of a momentary lapse in judgment rather than malicious intent. Period. Tendou, now calmer but still visibly shaken, speaks up, his voice somewhat shaky. Why? You had every right to let them take me. So why? You fucked me up this badly. So why? He offers an explanation of his actions, trying to justify his behavior but finding it difficult to articulate his thoughts clearly. Tendou's words are filled with a mixture of raw emotion and confusion. He's grappling with the consequences of his actions, unable to understand why USHIJIMA chose not to press charges. It's clear that Tendou is struggling to come to terms with the magnitude of his actions. His sharp eyes glance toward Tendou Satori, standing nearby. USHIJIMA raises a hand subtly, motioning toward the empty spot next to him, signaling Tendou to sit down. The gesture is brief and understated, but clear. Tendou notices the cue and starts moving toward the couch, ready to sit next to him. USHIJIMA's voice is firm but gentle as he begins to speak, his eyes fixed on Tendou. Tendou, I chose not to press charges because I understand what happened, but that doesn't mean what you did was okay. You have to take responsibility for your actions, and I also have to take responsibility for mine. I'm so sorry that you had to find out I cheated on you. Quotation mark. USHIJIMA continues, his voice filled with a mixture of remorse and determination. But that doesn't make what I did right. I betrayed your trust, and I apologize for that. I don't expect you to forgive me right away, but I want you to know that I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make things right between us. Tendou, his voice barely above a whisper, responds, his eyes still downcast. I don't know what to say. You cheating on me was one thing, but I lost control and did something terrible. How can I ever make up for that? How can you forgive me? USHIJIMA's expression softens, and he reaches out to place a gentle hand on Tendou's shoulder. Tendou, no one is perfect. We all make mistakes. What matters now is how we learn from them. He pauses, taking a deep breath before continuing. I don't know if I can forgive you right now, but I'm willing to work through this with you if you are. Tendou's tears start streaming down his face, his emotions overwhelming him. He tries to hold them back, but his efforts are in vain as a sob escapes his lips. The weight of his actions and the magnitude of the situation hit him all at once, and he breaks down in front of USHIJIMA. Tendou, filled with a mix of guilt and despair, pushes USHIJIMA away, unable to accept his comfort. He gets up from the couch, his body shaking with sobs. He takes a step back, putting some distance between them. USHIJIMA's expression quickly morphs from one of consolation to one of worry. He remains seated on the couch, watching as Tendou distances himself. The sight of Tendou's emotional state only intensifies his concern for the man he cares deeply about. Tendou, his voice hoarse from crying, speaks up, his words filled with a mix of remorse and frustration. I don't deserve your comfort. I don't deserve anything. I'm a monster. USHIJIMA, how can you still care about me? I hurt you. USHIJIMA's heart aches as he listens to Tendou's self-deprecating words. He stands up from the couch, taking a step closer, but leaving some distance between them. Tendou, you're not a monster. You made a mistake, a big one, but that doesn't define you forever. We all have moments of weakness, moments where we lose control. USHIJIMA takes a deep breath, his eyes never leaving Tendou's tear-streaked face. I care about you, Tendou, despite everything that's happened. I can't just turn off my feelings for you. I want to understand why you did what you did and how we can move forward. Tendou backs away, slowly making his way towards the door. His body trembles, and his sobs become more intense, each step further from USHIJIMA feeling like a further distance from any chance of redemption. It was cold and rainy outside. USHIJIMA's heart drops at the sight of Tendou slowly heading towards the door. He desperately wants to stop him, to pull him back into the safety of his arms, but he knows Tendou's emotional state is fragile, and any sudden move could push him away further. Was this really it for them? Tendou, consumed by a mix of guilt and self-pity, walks out of the apartment, leaving USHIJIMA standing alone in the silent room. The absence of Tendou's presence creates a void in the air, leaving USHIJIMA grappling with a whirlwind of emotions. USHIJIMA remains rooted to the spot, frozen in disbelief and shock. His mind races with a million thoughts, but he finds it difficult to process them all. The reality of what just happened, of Tendou walking out the door and possibly ending their relationship, hits him like a ton of bricks. USHIJIMA, filled with determination and worry, finally finds the strength to move. He bolts outside, into the night, searching for any sign of Tendou, but as he looks around, he realizes that Tendou is nowhere to be seen. The street is empty, and the only sound is the silence of the night. The rain fell in heavy sheets, soaking USHIJIMA to the bone as he ran down the street, his heart pounding harder than his feet hitting the wet pavement. His chest heaved, but it wasn't just from the physical exertion, it was the panic, the sinking dread that filled his every thought. "Tendou," he shouted, his voice almost drowned by the sound of the rain. He could barely see a few feet in front of him, but he scanned the empty street, searching for a flash of red hair, for the lanky figure he had once taken for granted. Nothing, no one. The silence was unbearable. He slowed, stumbling to a stop, his breaths ragged, and for the first time in years, USHIJIMA felt something other than certainty. Doubt gnawed him, hollowing him out. He replayed every word he'd said to Tendou, every cold glance, every time he brushed him off, too focused on his own path to notice how much he was pushing him away. Tendou had always smiled, hadn't he? Always been there, unfazed by the distance USHIJIMA created. But now, in this empty street, with no sign of Tendou's smile, no sign of his weird jokes or his easy laughter, USHIJIMA realized just how much he had missed, how blind he had been. His hands clenched into fists, the rain streaming down his face, mixing with the tears he refused to acknowledge. "Tendou," he called again, this time quieter, as if saying his name softer would somehow bring him back. But he was gone. He'd been gone for a while now, USHIJIMA realized, and it wasn't just tonight. Tendou had been slipping through his fingers long before this moment. How many times had Tendou reached out, only to be met with silence? How many times had USHIJIMA dismissed him, not thinking about the impact of his words, or the lack of them? Tendou had been patient, far more patient than he had deserved. And now there was no one to stand in his shadow, no one to laugh off his harsh words with a shrug. USHIJIMA fell to his knees, the cold water seeping into his skin, but he didn't care. All he could feel was the weight of his own regret, pressing down on him, suffocating him. He thought about what he could have said, what he should have said. Apologies that never came, kindness that he never showed. "I shouldn't have hurt you this badly," he muttered, his voice breaking. "I should have told you but the words were swallowed by the storm, just like Tendou had been swallowed by the distance between them. USHIJIMA closed his eyes, gripping his soaked shirt as if trying to hold on to something that was already lost. He was too late.
I'll sleep between y'all, it's nothing. Keep a place for me. It's nothing, it's nothing. It's nothing, it's nothing. You gotta leave, take down some summertime. Give up just a night now.